Hey man, there's always giveaways going on, man. There's always giveaways. So just make sure you're staying up to date with everything. There's a giveaway going on right now inside of the Funded Trader Discord for 50% off. So if you guys want to get involved in that, definitely join the Discord chat so you guys can post up in there. Orlando.
Always giveaways though. That's the best part about being, in the Telegram is you get first access to all the giveaways, and we're always posting updates and stuff in there.
Yes, sure. Yeah, there's
Everybody.
every single week, guys. There's some sort of giveaway going on as long as you stay up to date with the messages. Egypt, that's the first one. India, what's up? What's up, Walker, Orlando, Travis, San Diego. I'm gonna call you OB from Nigeria. I want to monitor. Yeah, Creedy want to monitor. Let's pray I beat my 200K challenge this week. Trey, what are you currently at on your challenge? So for everyone, we are recording this. People watching again on YouTube. We're gonna get started in a minute here. This is the Sunday Market Blitz. So we go over all of our analysis that we just posted inside of Discord and Telegram. At the end, we'll do some announcements for this week. Let's see, we got Nick in here. What's up?
Yep. What's going on? You hear me, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And
cool.
Jack, what's up, Jack?
Yeah, we got people from all over.
It's
in New York.
Yeah, my bad, Foamy. I was calling you OB. I didn't know there was a discount on the funding program. I had got the funding talent last week. Yeah, so for Forex League members, there's always a discount available inside of the course. There is also a discount available right now for people that have failed. So they received an email privately about that. But there isn't, let's see, right now there isn't like exactly like a public discount for the funded trader. We're probably gonna do something soon, but definitely check it out, Walker. Check out what's going on. I know you're with funding talent. I mean, not for nothing. Like, I'm not trying to bash funding talent, but their dashboard is so bad. Like, I have a funding talent account. I've had it at one point, and their dashboard is just trash. Let's see this. So yeah, we got a good amount of people in here. I think we're pretty much ready to get started. So if you guys have any questions, if you guys have any questions, post up in the chat. We're gonna go through our swing trading analysis again. All of it was posted inside of the telly. And for those interested, I did a poll earlier on the signals, whether we're gonna do a discount today or not. We'll do an announcement later today on that, but for now, let's go through all the analysis, see what's shaking out for the week.
Yeah, let's see what we got going on. So guys, we're going to start off with DXY. I'm going to cover 6 pairs, and then Angela's going to cover another 6. We're pretty much going to show you guys a potential for the week, and have like an open discussion around it. That's what the chat's for. So if you guys have any questions, comments throughout this analysis, just drop it in chat and we'll answer as we go. All right, so we're going to start off with DXY, which is just the US dollar index right here, US dollar currency index. And this more or less shows the strength of the dollar, what the dollar is doing, on a week-to-week basis, based on how we analyze. So it's good to stop in here and see what the dollar is doing, as it makes up for, 80% of all trade. So when you see something happening on the dollar, you better bet a lot of the majors are going to follow. Okay, so it's good to kind of see what's going on, see what the trends are, and then, make good setups, good analysis based on that. Okay, so we're going to jump to the daily time frame real quick, and we're going to just grab one thing from this time frame. And all we're looking for from here is the overall trend. So what is the daily trend? Okay, so you can literally find this by just following price action, right? What are the characteristics of a downtrend? Lower lows, lower highs. We clearly have that here. This was a huge downtrend. Then we had some sideways moving in here, and then it pushed back up, came back down. So it's bouncing around this monthly level. Okay, and we got a nice level of support here. So this is more or less consolidation in here. And obviously, not much of a trend. So it's not continuing to a lower low. We're actually just finding support at this low here, 90 flat. Okay, so that from that point, that was a reversal, pushed back above the monthly, and now we're getting higher highs and higher lows. So it looks like we're more in a bullish trend now. Okay, with a nice slow transition, a little bit of a fake out here, but definitely bullish now. And what one thing to point out is how we have consolidation back above this monthly, and we're still seeing higher lows. Okay, so that's good to see, because this over here pushed up. This is where you need to see more higher lows for a trend continuation. Instead, it came right back down, found no support here at the monthly, and actually broke back below that and then retested. So this is nice to see. We definitely have a presence in this upper zone now. It's pretty strongly bullish right now. So let's go to the 4-hour and go over the 2 trade scenarios for this week. So these aren't actually trade scenarios on DXY, because we don't actually trade this. These are more or less trade paths. Okay, so this is the potential for the week ahead. And right now it's looking very bullish, right? So we knew on the daily it's bullish. Here on the 4-hour it's bullish. We had a nice higher low here at 93. And now it's kind of consolidating. So it's likely that this will kind of continue up until resistance later in the week. It definitely could pull back to 93 and test again and then still push up. But as of right now, it's closer to continuing bullish and closer to testing a resistance level rather than breaking. Okay, we have no signs of breaking support yet, no signs of a transition just yet. It's just holding at this level. So we're going to look for it to continue this week, see what happens. But if it does break back below 93, give us a lower high, then we can consider a bearish 4-hour and a bearish dollar. Okay, but until we see that break, we're pretty much bullish as long as we're above 93 here. And now it could continue to consolidate, as I said, but we really got to just wait and see what the next move is here. Okay, but if this does start to push up, so it does start to continue, just expect a pretty bullish dollar for the rest of the week on most of the other pairs. Okay, so looking pretty good here on DXY, pretty strong bullish trend. So we'll see how it shakes out this week. Let's move over to AU. We're going to do the exact same thing, jump to the daily time frame. Question. Okay. So daily time frame, we're looking for the same thing here, just grabbing the trend. Okay, let's follow price action. It was bullish for a while, started moving sideways. This is a pretty large range. Resistance up here, support right here. You can see price action was bouncing in between. Nice fake out right there as well. So this is sideways movement. That's a ranging market. It did break lower, so we broke below this weekly level, got our lower high, and then our next lower low. So this is obviously very bearish now on the daily. Okay, so with that, let's drop down to the 4-hour, see if we can see if this trend lines up as well. Okay, it looks like it does. The 4-hour is obviously bearish, lower lows, lower highs. Nice transition of this 0.74 level. And then it's been continuing lower. So now we're in this area closer to 0.72. We're between these two zones. We saw a little bit of consolidation. Price action pulled back, tested broken structure, right at this black line, this random line. For those in the course that know this, price action came right back to it and tested it, and then reversed from there. So we're looking for a similar setup now. Honestly, we're looking for lower highs, so we can get it on a nice reversal here, nice bearish setup, so we can then short on and then target down towards support. So this is the most likely scenario. Just looking to get a simple reversal, enter on that confirmed lower high, and then target lower. Now, if this does push through 0.73, we want to see it really clear this area. Get halfway into this zone up here, pull back, give us a higher low, and then continue with that 4-hour transition. Right, so that would be the first step in considering this bullish, because that would then change the 4-hour trend, right? If we broke above this level, got a higher low, which is a characteristic of a bullish trend, this would then be, an opportunity for us to potentially enter long and then target towards 0.74. Okay, but until that happens, we're looking short because this is closer to happening. So just going to wait for price action to react to this level, see what happens, and then we'll play it from there. Okay, but that's AU, pretty straightforward. It's been moving with fairly good structure lately, pretty easy to see. So we'll see if that trend continues. That would be nice. Nice little 100 pip trade there potentially. All right, let's move over to AJ. Same thing, guys. Very methodical. Right to the daily time frame. Let's see what the trend is, where we've been, where we're going. Let's clear this up a little bit, actually. Those are old lines. All right, so we're very bullish. Then we went sideways, clearly a range here, resistance at 84.4, support at 83.25 right at the weekly, and then finally broke that level, got a lower high, lower low, lower high. We were then, very bearish, obviously, on the daily time frame. So with that, 4 hour, here we come. Let's see what's going on down here. Very similar to AU, but that's no surprise, guys. They are pretty correlated. The only difference is really you'll see a little bit more volume here on AJ. You get a little more dramatic moves, more dramatic pullbacks, deeper pullbacks, just more volume overall here on AJ compared to AU. All right, so we know that the higher time frame is bearish. Okay, and we saw a nice reversal here around 81.4, transition right there, nice lower high, and we were bearish here on the 4 hour since that as well. Okay, and we got another transition of this level, 80.80, nice lower high, dropped all the way to support at 79, and now it pulled back to resistance at 80.80. Now this is technically a level of broken structure if you look to the left. Okay, let me just straighten this line up. So we are just retesting this level. So now we really have to see how price action reacts here. Okay, we actually can get rid of this for now. So it's good that we saw a little bit of a reversal. This would be a great opportunity for a double top, and then we look to enter short on some nice bearish setups to get a nice trade here. We target down towards support at 79 flat. So really, again, just like on AU, we're waiting for it to react at this level, at the nearest resistance level, and then we'll play it accordingly. Now, if this does break above 80.80, we see it push significantly into this above this new zone, gives us the higher low, and then continues. That's a transition of the 4 hour. That means we're now bullish on the 4 hour, and we potentially could be getting into some long setups. Now, this would be our first target, 81.4, potentially up to 82.2, near the prior high, and then we'll see. So that's AJ right now. Just got to wait for a few more candles to form, see how 80.80 holds price action, and then we'll play it from there. All right, so that's AJ. Let's move over to UJ. Daily time frame to start. This one's been interesting lately. We've been seeing a crazy amount of consolidation, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's just grab the trend from the daily. Very bullish, as you guys can see. Now, obviously, it was more of a strong trend over here. Huge bullish candles. Nice ground was covered here. Just a huge push overall, right? And then compared to now, we're seeing a little bit more chop. This is a good structure in here, but the candles are obviously, they have less momentum. And then even more so over here, where we're more or less in a range, support being at 109.15, 110 was really holding as resistance for a while. So it looked like it was slowing down. Overall, we are still bullish, but we did see a nice little rally on the 4 hour. So let's get a closer look at that with this trend in mind. See if things are starting to line up down here, maybe. Let's see how this is going. Okay, so this is that consolidation. Let me just highlight this for you guys real quick. All in here. This is 110 right here. Look how many touches we've had. It's really been these two zones. 110 as major resistance, 110.3 as minor. And then just look how many tests have been in this area. So many fake outs, so many attempted breaks. Price action comes right back down. Just all these failed higher lows, and just price action struggled like hell to clear this area of consolidation. And finally did over here after even tighter consolidation, a little bit of an ascending triangle here. Price action fell out. We did call a nice short opportunity on this retest here last week. This was the break. This was the retest. Called the continuation, but it formed a nice double bottom and then took off. So we actually had highlighted the short and then what would need to happen for us to go long. And it essentially looked like this: a huge rally breaking through 110 resistance and 110.3. And then we're looking for that higher low to confirm this as a break, right? Because as we saw on the left, as we said, right, we saw a lot of fake outs, a lot of failed higher lows. This one was probably the closest, most convincing. Pushed up significantly, came back down, even touched 110.3, but then failed to follow through, which was a real shame. So a nice little fake out there. We're not trying to get caught in something like that. So we're going to wait on it, wait for it to pull back, give us a nice confirmed higher low, and then we got plenty of room to run. So we'll target up towards 111.5. Should be a really good trade if we keep even half of this much momentum. Should be really nice. All right, so that's what we're looking at for this week. Bullish option, bullish scenario, what needs to happen for us to start looking short again? Very simply, a break of 110.3 and 110. We need to get back into this range for us to consider shorts, because this is going to act as major support now. Again, look to the left. Look how many attempts it took to finally break that level. We'd have to assume that it's probably going to hold the same for support, but we'll see. That's why we need to see how price action reacts at this level before we make a move. All right, let's just check questions real quick. You got it. All right, EJ next, guys. Daily time frame. What is the trend here on EJ? We were bullish, very, very bullish. Got a nice reversal up here around the weekly. Broke through that level. That was our first transition. That was our bearish transition right there, right around this weekly. Broke through it, retested, got the lower high, lower low, lower high, and so on. So definitely bearish here on EJ. We do see a little bit of what could be ranging. We have 2 touches on support down here around 128. We have a couple touches around 130. Let's get a closer look. But overall, we are bearish. So keep that in mind for the daily time frame. Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit more here. We're in a nice bearish channel for a while. Saw a nice pattern. Remember analyzing this a couple of weeks back. Caught a nice drop, and then price action pulled back pretty hard. Gave us a nice 4-hour bullish trend, pushed above 130, and then gave us this beautiful reversal pattern. Right, so nice amount of consolidation, nothing too crazy, but more importantly, a nice double top, and then an absolute break of 130 with a lower high testing it. So that's confirmed lower high, confirmed transition back to bearish on the 4-hour as well. This is also a level that was broken and then retested, and then price action fell all the way back down to 128, and then pulled all the way back again towards that broken structure level. So this is an area of confluence. Pretty much between this area, we could see a reversal. Let me just make this yellow so it's easier to spot. Okay, so this is the confluence area because we have recently broken structure that we're now testing. Also 130 handles right there. Nice psychological level, also key resistance. So this could easily just turn around, give us a nice reversal pattern, and then plenty of confirmations to then enter short on. So we're definitely looking to target down towards 128.9. This is slightly off. 128.9 would be our target. Just need to see this kind of price action curve back down. All right, so that's the potential for this trade scenario. If this does go bullish, we need to clear 130, like pretty much up to where I have this orange trade path. I'd like to meet these prior highs, pull back, and then get that higher low with confirmation. That would be absolutely beautiful. And then there's a lot of room for it to run. We can go all the way up to 131.3 here. Could be a nice little trade, but we got to see how this 130 level handles price action. Is it going to reject or is it going to break? Stay tuned. No, we'll see. We'll see how it reacts. All right, so next on to gold, daily time frame. This one's obviously bearish. I mean, we've been covering this quite a bit over the last few weeks. We saw an area of consolidation when it was between 1825 and 1800. This is when we were forced to bump up to the daily time frame only and literally wait for this range to break. Because if you guys know me at all, know my trading style, if you've been around it, I like swing trading. I don't like trading ranges. I like to just be riding trends for the most part. So usually when I see ranging like this, I'll back off and I'll wait for price action to kind of make its move, figure out where it wants to go. Okay, so we had that same experience here once price action pulled back into this range. I didn't spend as much time in here as it did before. Actually, it gave us a really nice reversal pattern here. And then finally broke back below 1800 and gave us the lower high. So we're clearly bearish again here on gold on the daily. So let's go to the 4-hour and see what we got for this week. Maybe we'll get some good gold trades in if we could spot some setups. But yeah, let's see where we're at. All right, so clearly we broke 1800. It dropped pretty much to support all the way off the bat at 1740. Pulled back, tested structure to the pip right at 1787 there. You guys can see that wick, and then price action dropped again. So this could be showing signs of a range. We could curve back up, go to test structure again, go to reject off 1800. This could just be a range at a lower point. I hope it's not, but it definitely has the potential to pull back. But for us to continue with this trend, we know what we want to see, right? We want to continue through support. We want to break 1740 finally. We don't like that it tested twice with a lot of wicks. We want to see it break through that, give us a lower high, and then we can short from there. Okay, and then we have a pretty deep targets, 1700 first, and then 1675 would be our last target. But yeah, this thing's got room to run if we see this continue with this trend, and good momentum too. I mean, this thing, once it makes its move, this thing's been dumping quite a bit. A lot of volume stepping into this, into gold here. All right, so these are the setups for this week from me. I'll give you guys a quick recap. Covered DXY, AU, AJ, UJ, EJ, and gold. And you guys have access to these charts. As Angelo said in the beginning, they're active charts, live charts. So you don't need me on a webinar breaking this down all week long. You guys pretty much have this all the time. So use that resource, compare it to your own charts, see how our trades are playing out. They're pretty accurate for the most part, usually follows one of these trade paths. So yeah, they can be pretty useful. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. So thank you guys, and I'll pass it off to Angelo. We'll see what he's looking at this week.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen up. Again, if you guys have any questions, post up in the chat. Like Nick said, you could always come back, look at the analysis either on the recording or inside of the chat. These are swing trade ideas, so I think the whole purpose of this is use like the structure that we're showing you guys overall for the week. Kind of use that and just see how it plays out. Use that as a guide for the week here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up Dixie again, DXY. Let's just bump up to the weekly and just take a look. As you can see, what I do on the weekly time frame is I just put down like my key level, and then I just look at the candlestick analysis from the previous couple weeks. So this is from a couple weeks back. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually just take this off. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. We can see that up here, we definitely have a level. So I'm going to put this on. I'll explain in 1 second why. All right, so we have price rejecting this area, finding it as support, rejecting this area. And then we did reject it previously down here. But once price comes up into this area, definitely going to be looking for reversal. And as we could see, we're in this little mini uptrend. Let's come down now and find another level. Let's zoom in a little bit more. I previously had a level marked, it looks like right here. And this had been based on this support right here, resistance right here, resistance right here, resistance there. But we did just kind of break above that area. I just want to take note though, look how last week's candle closed. So last week closed with this doji candle. So this is telling me that the market is showing us a sign for reversal. So even though the last 2 weeks we've been moving to the upside, pushing to the upside, we are seeing us hitting a level of resistance again at this level. Look how we've rejected this area once, twice. This is the third time coming to this area. So I'm expecting some sort of pullback on Dixie, on the dollar. Obviously, we have support in this area as we even work our way down to the 4-hour time frame. This is pretty much a breakdown of that doji candle. Is we have a nice break of trend. So we had formed a double bottom right here. So we were clearly in an uptrend, forming this higher low, this high, and then we pushed up. Well, first we tested this level twice, pushed up, and then now we just broke below this area. So I am expecting this thing to reverse. If we just go based on normal market structure, this thing should form some sort of higher low or lower high in this area and then continue to the downside. Now, obviously, if price does manage to break back above, let's just mark this off as a supply zone. If price does manage to break back above this area right here, go ahead and touch this up, then this thing would definitely be back to being bullish. But based on how last week closed with that doji, I'm not expecting this to happen. I'm not expecting the dollar to get too bullish this week for buyers to step in. But these are basically the two scenarios. Either we're going to start to continue to form this lower lower low, lower high, lower low, or we're going to just completely break this level. And to me right now, it just doesn't make sense that this is going to break. Certainly it could, obviously anything can happen, but look at this large wick, already tested that level. And then again, we're starting to reject this area again. Look at this wick just to even open the week. So sellers are definitely stepping in. Let's keep that in mind, because if the dollar is pretty much short for the week, so if the dollar is getting bearish, let's take a look at some of these other pairs and see how this would shake out, how this would make sense. So USD CAD, let's bump up to the weekly again. Like, let's look at our key levels. So I have my first key level up in this zone right here. If I zoom out, I don't need to look at that too much, but we can see we clearly have support all along this area. So let's go ahead and draw this out. Where the heck is it right here? So we've got support here, boom. We did have a little bit of resistance there, and even going all the way back into this area. So clearly, when price is in this price zone right here around 1.3, also like a psychological number, we are seeing either a rejection or support. So that's our first key level. And then down here, obviously, we've got multiple times where price has touched this zone and just moved to the upside. So we want to definitely take note of that. So those are why the key levels are there. Now that we have that established, let's just zoom in a little bit and see like what's going on here. We can see that on the weekly, we actually have moved into some sort of like little uptrend. So we're forming these higher highs and higher lows, but look how this just previously formed to end last week. We have this bearish engulfing candle, this long wick. So this is very bearish. A lot of sellers stepped in, established that sellers are at this level. So the next level that we could potentially find support at would probably be down here, back in this demand zone, back at the 1.25 mark, right around this area. And coming down to the 4-hour, we can see here price was definitely in an uptrend, moving to the upside, and then we all of a sudden started to break down and turn into this downtrend. So forming these lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high. So that's what we're currently in. We're currently in a downtrend. Don't even look left. We are in a downtrend. We just broke and retested this perfectly. Whenever we are having this like new formation of a trend, we are always looking to enter on these retests of the previous support level. So clearly this thing last week at the end, let's pull this up, we broke this level. First area we're looking for sells at is when we retest. Right here, we retest, and then this thing shot back down. So if that was your entry zone, you could even put a limit order there. And this thing went down like 90 pips. But the target still remains for this thing to move lower. We just can't enter right now because there's a lot of room that this thing could retrace. It could retrace all the way back up to this 1.273 area. So we got to be patient. And really what I would like to see is this level to break. If I look left, I can see that this right here is definitely a key level just based on this resistance all along this area. And then we had some support here. And then we started to break down. So this level had been respected multiple times. And then again, right there. So we're back at that level. So if this thing breaks this level, it's definitely going to shoot to the downside. And then on the flip side, if we actually get we respect this area, we could easily see a more intraday move where this thing actually becomes a buy. And I'm even going to come all the way down to the 30-minute. Based on the 30-minute, guys, if you see a break of this level, this is going to be definitely a potential trade early in the week. But I am more favoring that this level is going to break down just because of all this volatility coming in. Seems like we came up, had this like last grab of the liquidity, last grab of sellers, and then now we're just pushing, or last grab of buyers, and now we're just pushing the downside. So that's what I'm looking for. Let me go ahead and take all these off. That's what I'm looking for right now. I am looking for this thing to break and to go to the downside. So we'll see. Again, no trade right now. Don't take a trade. Gonna have to wait for this thing to develop a little bit more. So let's go to GBP JPY. Again, guys, if you have any questions, post up in the chat which indicators you use. We actually don't use any indicators, at least I don't right now. If that falls, if that falls up, it's going to be a big pump supplier. Gold moving up. Nice. All right. So GJ on the weekly has been in this downtrend. So we were obviously up to the upside. And then we had a breakdown of this area, made a new low, made this lower high. But then last week kind of fucked it all up. This thing was moving real nice. End of last week, we had this long wick that formed. Now look previously, long wick. Thing's gonna most likely push back to the upside here, telling us that buyers all but stepped in, getting ready. But coming down to the 4-hour, we have to see this materialize first. The 4-hour is still pretty bearish. And we did have this little minor point of structure right here break. But I wouldn't actually want to take buys on this based on that weekly time frame, that bearish momentum. I wouldn't want to take buys on this. So there's pretty much two trades to play out right now. Either you can start to short it really now. You can start to take shorts on GJ right now, retarget these lows, have your stops right around this area, about a 3-to-1 risk reward. You could wait. And if you come to the 30-minute, 30-minute has already started to break down with structure. You could wait for it to retest this area again, show you another point of rejection. But really right now is the time to kind of short it. And then if you want to wait based on that weekly, the weekly obviously had a different idea, long wick, showing us that buyer stepped in, which is why I'm not as confident in this short. Look at all this bullish momentum shooting up. So this came down and then just covered right away, right? So ton of buyers stepping in right there. On the flip side, if this thing does break the 151,600 level, that's when we are going to buy. So shorts are definitely more risky. The trade is there right now. But based on that weekly wick, I am favoring the buy, right? So I'm favoring this thing to break the resistance, find support, and then to go higher. So that's GJ. Let's go on next to GU. It's going to be fairly similar, but GU is actually a little bit further along. So let's go up to the weekly time frame on GU. Again, very similar in the sense that the weekly time frame has started to break down. Structure has started to break down. Let's go ahead and bring up our head and shoulders pattern. So we have this head and shoulders we've been looking at for a few weeks now. Form that right shoulder, and then we had the break, retest, rejected. So everything calls for this thing to continue to go low, right? Everything calls for GU to finally start to cover, where it was at this time, or not this time, but at December of last year. Everything's calling for this thing to continue to go lower. But look at how last week closed. We're hitting this level of support, and last week actually closed with this wick. So it's telling me that we're going to get some sort of pullback here. I still think it is bearish. I think the best area to sell from is going to be right at this level. I'll put it right here. This level of support. This is going to be a good area to sell at. So pretty much what we're looking at with GU is downtrend. All of a sudden it broke. So we're looking at a push right now to the upside. So we're looking at a push to the upside on this one, and then it's going to retest this 1375 area. And that's ultimately where we're going to make our decision. If it comes up into this area and we see wicks, if we see a bearish engulfing candle, any type of like bearish reversal signal, the spinning top, inverted hammer, whatever we see at this, the shooting star, whatever we see at this area, guys, that is when we're going to sell. It comes up here, very bullish. Like, look at this right here. Came up very bullish, but bearish engulfing candle, right? So that's telling us that price or seller stepped in at the resistance level. And this is a huge level of resistance. So it's not like it's expected to reject this area. So wait for a price to come up there. Now, if you wanted to take some buys into that area, if we come down, we can kind of make out right now we have this like falling wedge pattern. We'll draw this out. So this thing is definitely losing some momentum to the downside. And this is ultimately what we're looking for, is we're looking for a breakout of this, a retest, and then obviously it's got to continue to form some structure, but go to the upside. So that's what we're looking at on GU. We're looking for it to come back up into the resistance and then push lower. If it just falls lower from here, you know, there's nothing much we can do because I don't have a signal in this area. And again, you know, this thing could fall much lower. And we see, let's actually go up, back up to this weekly right here. So right here is definitely a major support level that has a lot of room to fall. And I can imagine that it's going to struggle around this area. So if we don't get a sell, if we don't get the retest up there, we're definitely going to get another lower high to form once it hits this level. So we'll just keep updating this, see where it's at. But for this week, again, for those that are going to watch GU, wait for it to come up and then come down. So that's GU. Let's go to Euro USD next. Let's bump up to the weekly time frame. So this is interesting. Weekly time frame has had this whole double top. You can even come up to the monthly. So monthly tested this level right here. We obviously rejected it. Now we're currently right here. So let's come down. This has obviously been respected. So we found support here, found support here, found support here, push to the upside. So what are we trying to do with this? Look how last week closed with this doji. So last week closed with the doji candle. I wouldn't want to short this again until we get back up into this like supply zone, back up into this area. That'd be my selling zone up there. That's where I would have my weekly line up, you know, with the 4 hour. So that's where I would wait for the sells. But based on this like spinning top candle and the weekly support, as we come down to the 4 hour, 4 hour is starting to obviously making this low, lower high. And then now we're just starting to like consolidate in this area. So I'm expecting price to do something like this. And this is when I would actually start to take buys. It's just a classic break and retest transition of structure from a downtrend to an uptrend. This is exactly what we go over inside of the course. You know, whenever there is a break of a lower high, waiting on that first higher low, bring out your fibs, bring out your technicals, all the, you know, your tools to get confirmations. That's what we're looking for. This would be a very good trade. And considering this lines up really well with DXY, because remember, DXY, we are looking for this thing to go lower, right? We're looking for this to lose value. So I'm going to move this up. So if EU starts to go higher based on euro getting stronger than the dollar, that would line up really well with DXY. Again, if we go to UCAD, we're looking for UCAD to go low. That would line up with DXY as well. If we look at GU, we're looking for GU to come up about 90 pips. That's a big move. And that would also line up with DXY as well. So far, everything is lining up with DXY. Besides GJ, GJ is a little bit different of an idea. We need to break this resistance first. So let's go back to Euro USD. So we need to wait. We need to wait for this thing to break resistance right now. Now, say we come up to this resistance level and we get rejection. So we start to see just like this bearish engulfing candle, wicks, bearish variations showing us reversal. That'll be the time to start to sell this back down. And there's a lot of room to move down. So all comes down to a retesting this 174 area. That's where it's going to right now. So we'll see how it reacts. Next, let's go to USD CHF. So last week, if you were on the Sunday market blitz, this was the call last week, and this actually went much lower than expected. But basically we go all the way up to the weekly time frame. Going into last week, we had a break above the resistance. So I had this resistance level marked. Again, always mark your key level. So we have support here, resistance, support. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, should I say now, broke through this level. So we surged above this level. Based on the fact that this thing closed with no wick, obviously structure is shifting to the upside, but because we're so overextended here, and at the end of last week, we had a doji candle, and then to start the week, we had this evening star. We were expecting, this was right on the Sunday market blitz last week. The call was short, so it was to go short on this until we get back to the support level. And then this thing obviously went much lower. I think in the signal room also this trade was in there. Now, I was expecting it to find support a little bit higher, but it didn't. But let's go back up to the weekly on this one. Although we moved a bit lower than expected, we are now in this kind of buy area. We're retesting this previous high point right here. And if we come down to the 4 hour, we're starting to get the makings of reversal. So we're starting to, we shot down, had this lower high, then we pushed up, found support. Look at this right here, this bullish engulfing. So this thing has all the signs of something that is going to go bullish. Now, this is one of the only pairs where I'm expecting it to go bullish, even though the dollar I'm expecting to go short. So if the dollar, our idea, is invalid, this trade will most likely start to take fruition. Now, when would I actually get in on this order? The safest entry would be once we break above this level and get it on the retest. It's always going to retest, guys, most case scenarios. Always going to retest. Now, if this whole idea becomes invalid, this is simply going to be the play. If it breaks this little mini little uptrend. If it breaks this, breaks support, breaks our key level, easy short. It's going to short. It's going to go low. It's going to go back down to this level. So look out for signals on this one. This is two very valid trade ideas. I think the path of less resistance here is definitely to the downside. But again, this thing is showing us on the weekly that the buyers had stepped in with this huge candle. So I am going to stay on the side of okay, buys are shaping up unless a huge break of structure happens right here. We are looking for buys. So last but not least, let's go to NZD USD. This is another one that I'm lining up to for the dollar to be bearish. So I'm looking for the New Zealand dollar to gain strength against this. So coming up to the weekly right here, looking at the weekly time frame, just look at the price action. So we were in a downtrend. Boom, lower low. Right here, made a new low, and then all of a sudden, boom. This is the area we're looking for buys. Break, retest of the resistance. This is the retest right now. And look at Last week's candle formed this spinning top at the support level. That's a great confirmation right there. Coming down to the 4-hour, this was clearly a downtrend. And for those that are in the program, this is pretty much what we teach with the breaks of structure. We had a downtrend. Let's just take this off. Downtrend, lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and then break, first higher high, looking for that first higher low to form. I brought on a demand zone. So we have a demand zone marked out right there. And if we even bring on our fibs, which I don't feel like is necessary, but you could, as you can see, we've got our levels 61.8, 78.6. We've got some levels there. So as long as price maintains support, we are still looking for that first higher low to form. And look at how this first candle is forming. Gaps lower, up 30 pips right now. So this could definitely be a buy opportunity. Definitely a potential swing trade to buy and hold. And you can comfortably like put stops below there. Your first target would be here, second target there, and then starting to target even higher. We would have to bump back up to the weekly time frame to really see. So we've got our target there, then we can target this previous high. So that's NZD USD. It's a very good trade because if this breaks, then it's invalidated, and we know this, and it's going to sell off. So then we can switch our bias and sell it. So we've got stops in a very good place. Gold going for a goddamn win. Yeah, fuck yeah, his textbook. Yep. So that's pretty much it for me, guys. All the analysis that I went over. Again, this is all posted inside of the telly. So we've got all of our analysis posted. If you click on any one of these, you can come up and actually play it forward for the week. So again, use this as a guide for the week, guys. It's overall structure that we are looking at. So don't be afraid to mark this up, to put it on your chart, very similar to how we are, and just see how these things play out. And for those that were asking about the signal room, there is going to be some sort of discount on it. Obviously, this is what it looks like, just the trade, the stop loss, the entry, and everything like that. We are posting the before and afters now, so you guys know which trades are already done. We aren't posting analysis in here because, like, quite simply, people have voiced that they don't want it anymore. So at the end of the week, we're just going to post a video that does like a summary of 2 of the trades that we took, so you guys kind of know what's going on here. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys.
Yeah, another Sunday market blitz, another set of good analyses. But hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. And you know, we're here if you need us, so hit us up in Discord or you know, even on Instagram. Although you know, maybe a little delayed on Instagram as the DMs get packed, but yeah, definitely hit us up on Discord if you guys need us.
Yeah, definitely Discord, the best place to reach us during the week. But yeah, thanks guys for all the support, and we'll be back next week for another Sunday Market Blitz as always. So yeah, enjoy the week, everyone.
Peace, guys.
Peace out.